Coming to you live from the Hellmouth Adjacent. It's a popular cinema podcast. I'm your co-host Payne,
I'm Bill.
and welcome to episode 73.
Hello.
Yeah, que pasa, senor? How you
I don't
doing, Bill?
understand. I'm fine. How are you?
Well, it has been a busy weekend already.
I know I got lots of texts last night.
We went to
None from
some.
you, mind you. Just, everyone else in your life.
Oh, I don't like to send out multiple texts. You know how I am.
I didn't even get a single text, so multiple is really off the table. To be honest, I thought maybe you'd say hi or something.
I got no time for those type of pleasantries.
I got pictures. I got a video from your girlfriend. I got some texts from Melissa. I think Carlos texted once or twice. Nothing
Oh,
from Payne.
what was the video?
Silence. It was the video of the opening scroll.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So Chris says that it was fantastic and I would have loved it. What say you?
Well, for the people out there, Carlos scored some tickets to the Cleveland Orchestra's playing of John Williams' Star Wars music.
I did
They were playing the Star Wars movie on about three different screens, and the orchestra played the whole music throughout the whole film.
but there was still dialogue. You could still watch the movie. It was just the
Oh
orchestra was
yeah,
like in the background.
oh yeah. There was the whole talking, but when it's time for the music or any type of thing like that, they were playing. They ever took an
Did the
intermission.
music did the music ever drown out the dialogue so you couldn't hear what they were saying?
Nope, not at all. It
Okay.
felt like it was watching the movie. They played it perfectly. They were
Okay.
magnificent.
Cool.
And the
So it was
crowd,
outside. I did not realize it was going to be outside.
it was outside and you were allowed to bring whatever you wanted. People brought, coolers, chairs, blankets, food,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
saw beer in your hand in the photo. I was a little surprised. I was like, "Oh, is he partaking
It's
of the
it's
hooch?"
hard cider.
Oh, girly drinks. That's what you're having, a girly drink. Yeah, you're having one of those Zimas.
Whatever. Okay? Not everybody can drink liquor and everything else like that. There are limitations for us all.
I drink
Uh,
the hard stuff. I drink 100 proof vodka with just a splash of cranberry. I mean, if you're gonna fuck around and get boozed up, I don't half-ass it.
I mean, this is, I think, a family event here. I mean, people are bringing their families here.
Well, no one said you had to get liquored up and like start stripping to your, underwear. I'm just saying, shit. So
Carlos
you had a good time.
brought some Bloody Marys in a can.
Bloody Marys in a can. Were they any good? Did you try them?
I tried a sip of it. It was very spicy. Not too bad.
Really?
He had about one. My woman had a couple beers. So it was good. You're out there, it's crowded. People were very respectful when the movie started.
So it
Uh,
was outside. Was there like bugs and stuff biting you?
no, it was the temperature was perfect. There was a breeze. There were no
Really?
bugs. The
Nice.
issue is you might have had some people that were in like little chairs, and if you got a spot, there's two people in front of us in chairs. They were fairly large, so they're sort of kind of blocking you. So you have to kind of lean to one way to look around them, to look at the screen, depending on
The,
your
the
angle.
people were large or the screens were large?
The people were large.
When you
So what-
say large, do you mean like XL, XXL, or XXXL?
I don't know, maybe a double XL. Whenever they would whisper over to each other to talk, they would like, one would lean over to talk to the other one. It would block the screen. And Chris was just like, "Will they stop talking to each other?" I'm like, "I know, babe. I know. Just try to
Well,
like
to be
crane your
fair,
neck
she is
around them."
diminutive, so she might not
But
have like the
the whole
average
point
person's perspective.
the whole point about it is when you're on a blanket and then people bring lawn chairs, that's the issue. So I think in the future for an event like that, maybe you should bring lawn chairs so you could be raised up a little bit.
Okay, so you guys were like actually on the ground, and there were people in
Right.
chairs around you.
Right.
Okay,
That was your choice. A lot of people, some people brought chairs, other people just brought blankets. It was your choice.
okay.
And we got there around, I don't know, 8 o'clock, and Carlos had the primo parking pass. I'm talking, it was You couldn't get a better parking pass. So it's like VIP type of shit. So
What park was this at?
it's called Blossom Music Center.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I believe. Didn't we
Oh,
see like maybe George Michael or something there back in the 80s?
really? At Blossom?
I don't know. It was in Cleveland somewhere. I don't know. How many music centers do they have?
Oh, well, it's not really Cleveland. It's a little bit further south, but yeah, I get your drift.
Okay. Do you
I don't
remember
know.
when we said, did you go to the George Michael concert with us?
I think I might have did go to the George Michael. Mm,
You think
my
you might
memory's
have,
not.
or do you know you might have, or you know
I
you did?
think I did.
Okay.
I think I did.
Okay.
Because you got bought a George Michael leather coat.
Are you sure? No, because that I don't think so. That was after high school, and George Michael was still in high school, I think.
Okay. Well, I can't remember.
Okay. So in other words, you're just making this up. Yeah, sure, I remember. You were wearing like hot pink pants and like shoes with diamonds on them. Right, I got it. Okay.
I
Uh,
cannot remember.
all right.
Um, but it was good. Carlos, as always, is being a good father. He bought both his kids lightsabers.
Nice. I saw the he went to the merch booth. So was this something he brought with them, or he bought at the
No,
place?
the kids arrived and they're like this. We want lightsabers. We want them now. And he's like,
Well,
whatever
he
my
was
children want, Daddy gets.
sure he could have gone to Five Below and bought them for $5, but I'm sure they were a markup price over at the merch booth. I'm
Chris is
sure.
just like, I never bought any of my kids any type of merchandise. They'd be like this, can we get a little spinny light thing for the concert? She'd be like, no, what you can do is you can have this pen light.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
So it was good. The crowd, oddly enough, as big as it was and as many kids as there were, it was a good event, you know.
So did the movie hold up for you? Because I know that you probably haven't seen this movie in some time.
Well,
Maybe
no, I
since I
watched
was
it again with you, and parts of it is, it's about being comfort. I barely have any fat on my ass, so sitting on the ground after a while hurts my tailbone. So you're a little bit like you're trying to get comfortable, trying to lay out, trying to look around people. The movie is fine in and of itself. There's just there's classic scenes in there. Chris looks over at me now and then and she goes, "That dialogue is so horrible." I go, "I know, babe. I know that's a horrible line." But Harrison Ford is just the shit. There's so many good scenes. I mean, Darth Vader, James Earl Jones. I find your lack of faith disturbing. There's so many things where you just sit there and you're just like, this is just good. And of course, my favorite part, Bill, my ultimate favorite part is when Han and Luke and Chewie walk down the aisle and they get the awards at the end of the movie for blowing up the Death Star.
well,
And
Han and Luke did. Chewie didn't get shit.
well, right, okay, right. Chewie didn't get shit.
He didn't get
All right.
shit.
So, and then they turn around, and then they in the movie flash the credits, and they play the score. Oh, I am so juiced at that point. I mean, I do what I normally don't do. I cheer. You know,
Really?
I cheer. I cheer. That's just it's a very cool ending. you know but it's one of those things. If you want it to be really critical, it's just always very funny about, like, so we spent like 500 trillion on building this machine that can blow up planets, and we left a little exhaust port that's open, that if somebody gets something in there, could blow it up.
You understand that a major theme that runs throughout the entire saga is the fact that their downfall is their hubris, right?
Ah,
They
yeah.
think they're too big to fail, like Enron.
Oh, there you go. Look at you. Did you see the documentary, Enron? Too
Uh,
big to fail?
uh, I did not,
Okay,
but
anyway.
that is a major running theme. So that in that, I understand what you're saying. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but when you're top of the trash heap or whatever, you're top of the hill, you think no one can fucking get to you. Lo and
Yeah.
behold, it's the smallest creature that can change the course of the future. That's
Hey,
what I stole from Lord of the Rings.
oh, okay, nice. Peter Cushing was good, obviously. Um, there's just a lot of good things in the movie, and it does hold up. It does
It's
hold
just
up.
my favorite
I
movie of all
and
time.
I wonder for kids now, and I know we had this
Well, did
discussion
you ask the
before.
kids what they thought?
Well, the kids have seen it before. I mean, it's
Well,
a
sure, but they
Star Wars.
still have a different perspective
Yeah,
from ours.
yeah, they like it. But I guess my point of the matter is that these kids nowadays are watching. They're not waking up like, okay, I don't get to watch cartoons all week. Like, I got to wake up at Saturday morning at 8 o'clock to start watching cartoons. They have Cartoon Network, they have Netflix, they have Amazon. They can watch Sesame Street anytime they want to. My point is, now that they're um, watching Harry Potter's and Fantastic Beasts and Guardians of the Galaxy, they're looking at a certain type of CGI and more pixels, more visually stunning. Now, do they watch Star Wars and are just like, oh, it looks so old and dated? Does it? Does it? Does the magic somehow take them in, or they're just like, ah, I just prefer the new stuff. I prefer the new Terminator because it looks flashier.
I would tend to think that kids would be somewhat put off by the fact that it does look in
And,
certain
and I
aspects
think
like
what ends up happening is that it becomes the torch to bear from the older generation that sits there and tries to share this with them. Like, hey, you know what? This is such a great movie that you have to watch it. And then you
yeah.
start to try
I
to
mean,
inundate
like
the younger people because, who goes back and pulls up like 1980s Beastmaster? Why would you do that?
well,
You
I
know?
would do that, but I think it's sort of passing, like you said, it's passing of the torch. I mean, but then you think a classic movie is a classic movie. It doesn't. The thing that makes it live beyond its shelf life is the fact that it's timeless and is a story that can be related to from 8 to 80, as I'm always talking about. And I mean, I don't know if like people look at Gone with the Wind and go, it just looks so dated. I mean, it was made in 1939. You know what I mean? I don't. I mean, if it's a good movie, it should hold up,
Mm.
regardless of
We
the
think
time it was made.
we think you would have liked the event, but I think we were laughing because you would have probably bought like some sort of golf cart carrying a trailer full of like tables, chairs, food, vodka, blankets, all the comforts of home. You would have
Yeah.
pulled up, set up a tent. Then all of a sudden you're like this, I'm hot and sweaty. And you would have ran off to the bathroom, then would have came back, and then you would have opened up some sort of like mix your own drink container, started shaking yourself a martini, whatever else.
Well, I'm not going to say that that wouldn't happen.
You'd
I'm
have been
not.
like Thurston Howe.
And Lovey on the island. Uh-huh.
Uh, did you see that? What's his name? Peter Dinklage is going to be playing Tattoo from Fantasy Island.
I did see that.
Um, I guess there's a whitewashing controversy on that. I just
Oh,
saw a
I'm
headline.
so over it. I'm so over it. Really.
I know he's French. I think he's French.
I mean, really. How many roles do you think there are out there for people of his size? It's not like he's getting inundated with offers. Let the man have a fucking job, for Christ's sake.
I didn't click on the article. I just moved on. So
Have you seen,
anyway,
speaking of people complaining about people getting jobs, have you seen the big controversy this weekend about that kid from the Cosby Show that's now working at Trader Joe's?
no.
I forget. I think it was one of their husbands or boyfriends. I can't remember which one. Maybe Rudy's boyfriend or something. I don't know. Anyway, I guess somebody
Oh, was
caught
that
him.
the Rudy's boyfriend at the time? Bud? Was it Bud?
I don't
Bud.
know who it was. I don't remember that show because it's been stricken from my memory because of the Cosby
Oh,
crisis.
please. Oh, Cosby
Um,
crisis. Is he in jail yet, or is he still out?
They don't put octogenarians in jail. They're just going to let his flesh rot off the bone before they have to pay
Oh,
taxpayers to, put him up in a cell.
okay.
I think his sentencing is sometime soon, isn't it? Has he already been sentenced? See, this is how
No.
much I'm paying attention to this. Okay, so anyway, I guess they caught him, well, caught in quotation marks, working an honest job at the checkout lane at Trader Joe's, and people are like, you know,
Wait a
this is
second. Yeah, it's Jeffrey Owens, Bill.
okay.
That was he played Elvin Thibodeau.
Whatever.
Elvin.
Okay, people are making fun of him because he's working at Trader Joe's. He's an out of work actor working at a retail job.
He
Like
was
there's some kind of shame in that.
he was Sandra Huxtable's
Yeah, Chandra's. Yeah. Anyway, he's working at a job and he's making an earnest living. By the way, check out people at Trader Joe's make $22 an hour and they get health and dental benefits. So I don't know how tragic that is, but okay.
well, the whole idea is you assume I mean, fair or not fair, I guess maybe I'll speak for myself. Sometimes you assume when you see some of these people, even though they have a big part, that they were on television, and therefore being on television, you somehow have made substantial money, and that's really the high point.
In the
Because
80s, that was 40 years ago. Okay. Speaking of which, how much do you think a supporting character on a TV sitcom was making back in 1983 or 4 or whatever it was?
well, I guess if you're telling me he's bagging groceries now, I guess not much now. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
I'm saying I'm sure it wasn't enough to hold him through the rest of his natural life. Okay, he wasn't making Tom Cruise money.
Okay. So
So
apparently there's some
anyway,
backlash for shaming him for actually just working
yeah,
a
there ought to be
job.
some backlash. What is there to be ashamed of? It's not like he's doing coke in the back alley somewhere. He's doing a fucking checkout job at Trader Joe's. Big deal.
Well, obviously the whole storyline is that he's a loser now. He went from being on the Cosby Show, and now he's just a loser.
Is he a loser that was sucking people's toes while they were unconscious after he drugged them? Oh, then in my book, he's really not a loser.
So when you saw this article, were you sitting there going like you didn't look at him and go like, "Oh, wow, that's what he's doing"?
No. I went, why do I care?
Okay, all right. So if you saw, all right, I gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that story. I don't know where you're at. Is this from your Twitter?
It is.
This was on my timeline.
I don't know what's going on with your Twitter. You seem to be behind a lot. Maybe you need to expand your follow.
I really don't really look at it too much, but that's fine. Did you watch the Aretha Franklin thing? I had a dream about John McCain. I was sort of like hanging with John McCain last night in my dream.
Really? I did watch some of the Aretha stuff just to see like some of the musical performances.
What was the deal with the priest like grabbing Ariana Grande's boob? That's what I heard happen.
Well, he was, I don't know, he like had his arm around her and he was like touching the bottom corner of her boob, and I guess like people went on to a like tizzy about it. Oh, and
Listen,
now Batista is in trouble. No, not Batista. Who is it? No, it's Mike Coulter. Mike Coulter might get in trouble because he
he
said,
said,
"Shoot
yeah,
your
but
shot, brother. No fucks given," in a tweet last night.
mhm.
And I had to look it up because I'm not down with the Urban Dictionary lingo. So I guess shoot your shot means
Go for
go for the girl or whatever. Push aside what
yeah.
the signals that she's giving you and just go for it. Okay.
Well, I don't know about push that aside, but it means like okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Well,
Well, apparently the Me Too's are not having it with Mike Coulter and his comment on Twitter. So they're coming after him today. Big time. So
did you think Aria Grande was dressed appropriately for Aretha
I
Franklin?
don't. You know what? I don't know what these kids do anymore, Jay. I don't know what the appropriate attire is. Shaka Khan was wearing like a set of curtains from Gone with the Wind, and a fan to boot.
See, these kids nowadays, they all walk around with their ass out, though. That's the thing about
Well,
it.
yeah, but she also wanted to be able to like move around freely. I mean, she gave a good performance. That's all I can say. She sang.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it pales in comparison to some of the people that were there, but she was all right.
it's very funny. The photo shows her and she's wearing like a short skirt and whatever else like that, and behind her are like 6 men, including Bill Clinton as she's out there in her high heels sashaying. And I was just like, okay, this is probably not the best image that you
I
want to be
mean,
pushing out there, but
she didn't come out there with like some, barely covering her ass dress. It was a short dress, but it was like she's a young girl. You know what I
that's
mean?
what
I
they
don't
wear.
know. I
What they
think
wear.
Aretha would not have really had a problem with it, but what do I know? I
That's,
didn't know Aretha, so.
yeah, yeah. I can tell you at my wedding,
Um,
I don't want any of you bringing any of your friends wearing like assless chaps at my wedding, dancing around doing like,
oh,
you,
I was
you
gonna
know.
wear assless chaps. What the fuck? Really?
Well, I'm letting you know right now that you're not supposed to be wearing assless chap at my wedding. I want everybody to be very sophisticated, just like I was in life.
Right. Okay. Anyway, moving on. I'm trying to think who else was that. What I thought was, uh, did you see Jay Hud's performance?
Who?
Jennifer Hudson.
No, I didn't watch this. How long did that thing last for? Like 10 hours?
It was no, seriously. I'm not even kidding at all. It was 8 hours. It was 8 hours and 21 minutes. But this is what the black people
This,
do at
this
church,
is
Jay.
why I don't go to black people churches anymore, Bill. Why don't? That's exactly why here. Because I need people to understand I have other shit to do. I can't be up in there. And I don't want to feel guilty for walking out early.
I mean, the woman had a home going, okay? She was going home and she wasn't going in anything less than style. I
I
mean,
can
she had 3 outfit changes in the casket, for Christ's sake.
listen, I love a lot of my friends, okay? But I can tell you right now, you get like a couple hours. That's what
Are
you
you going to tell me seriously? Because I don't believe you.
get.
In a lifetime's worth of relationships that you've had with your close peeps, that a lifetime's worth isn't worth an 8 hour day to you?
No, you're not getting 8 hours. Now, wait a second. Now, if we can do a ceremony where there's going to be some sort of talking, and that's an hour, and then maybe like driving you out to the place, the burial, depending on what you want to do, maybe that's another hour. And then if we go to some place to catch a snack, whatever place, Buca de Beppo, get some food, chat about some more good times and some memories, that could be another hour and a half. I'm at 3.5. What am I supposed to do? Double that time? Come
Motherfucker,
on,
let me tell you
come on,
something.
come
Let me
on.
let me tell you something, bitch. Do you know how many hours in my life I have spent putting up with your nonsense? Hours, days, weeks, months, and years. And now I can't get an 8 hour day for you to say goodbye.
Oh, 8 hour day. What is this like? What is that? What's that Jewish thing that they do? It's called Shiva, where you stay in like a house for like a full day or so many hours, just mourning the person.
I don't understand what the Jewish. I don't understand Jewish people.
Yeah, it's just too long, Bill. And not to mention, I'm like, what is it going to be? Person after person coming up singing? I mean,
Well, sure. I mean, if they're I'm not talking about like my brother Scott giving up there and giving like a 3 hour performance. Okay, I'm saying like
okay.
Ariana Grande, Gladys
Let's
Knight.
this is a better example. Aretha Franklin got 8 hours.
Yeah.
You're no Aretha Franklin. So what do we give you? 2? That
You
seems
give me
appropriate.
what I
On your
request
stats.
at my funeral. I don't know why we're talking about this. Is very morbid conversation, but if I decide that I want to have an 8 hour homegoing, your black ass better be the first one in the pew. That's all I could say.
Chris is gonna be like, "Can I gotta go let the dogs out." I'll be like, "I know, babe. I really have to stay here for." He's not gonna know. I'll be like, "I know, babe."
But see, here's the thing. I will come back. I will be watching, and I will come back, and I will haunt you, motherfuckers, like the Amityville Horror.
Do I have to
Okay.
send flowers? By the way, if you croak, since I'm
Yes.
gonna be there for 8 hours, do I have to send flowers?
And
That seems like a waste.
I don't want the $49.99 Teleflora 1-800-Flowers fucking cheap ass goddamn bouquet either.
$50 is the standard thing that you do.
What about me do you think is standard?
Do you remember that time, just as a side note, what was it that my sister's second wedding that she had the nerve to ask for gifts again? But anyway, let's move past that.
She listens to this show. I don't know why you're going down this road.
So I sat there. I'm like, okay, we'll just send out another gift. So I went to Bed Bath and Beyond. I saw what was on the registry, and I picked things that added up to like $50. It was like one spoon, one flute, like half a
Yeah, instead of a
spatula.
set of something like is what people normally would buy.
Right,
You
right. I was like, because the set was always like 59.95. I was like, oh, that's not
right.
going to work. So let me just get two of the flutes and one spoon.
Was it at her first wedding or her second wedding that you bought her the $40 vacuum thing? Like it was like the cheapest thing on the registry, and she was like, "For reals?"
And the thing about it, when it came to her, whenever the notice came, it popped up 49.95. Apparently, she said she didn't even have to look at it to know who it was from.
Right.
And so of course, Catherine, my old work wife, she found out about this and she lectured me that it was
Tacky.
ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
tacky. She made me go order some sort of like pregnancy pillow or something like that as a makeup
So
gift.
was it the first wedding or the second wedding that you cheaped out, or was it both?
Oh, it was both. I gave something
Oh,
cheap on the
love
first one, and then on the second one, I gave something cheap, but then somebody lectured me, and then I upped the ante.
it. Right. Okay. Okay.
Anyway,
Anyway.
all right, let's move on.
Okay.
So, Bill, here we go. Here's the well. If we're still going to stick with Star Wars, I see that over in Disneyland, they're going to be open up the Og's Cantina, I think, in 2019. And apparently, at this cantina, they're going to be serving adult libations.
Yeah, but I think somebody said, "Have you ever had a drink at Disney? They're like super watered down." So I don't think people are going to really get too rowdy drinking like the Zimas that you were imbibing last night at the concert.
Oh, well, that's not a good advertising. I guess they don't really want people just sitting there showing up and going like, "Okay, you kids go to little, what is it, Little People World, and I'm going to head over here to the
Mommy
cantina
and
and get
Daddy
some
are going to
food."
be in the cantina. You kids go over there and get you some cotton candy.
Fuck you, Greedo. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Um.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Are you gonna go to Star
I
Wars
don't know.
Disneyland?
I don't know. You know that I don't do crowds of people. So the whole thing about it, like, do I want to go and be immersed? Is it the way it's supposed to be described as, like immersed in your own Star Wars world? Sure, that sounds fabulous. Do I want to deal with like the people of Walmart transplanted to Disneyland, Star Wars Land? Not so much. So I'll have to wait and see maybe a couple years after it opens and like the shine is off and people are like not flock. Of course, they're always going to be flocking to Star Wars Land at Disneyland. But after a while, maybe it'll get a little bit less crowded. So I might wait a couple years before going.
I
But I
don't know if it's
imagine if it's
less.
really as immersive as they make it sound, that it's probably going to be something that's going to draw me out eventually.
That'd be kind of cool, right? It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but Jay, the people. I don't do a lot of the big crowds of people.
Wouldn't it be even cooler maybe if they could have like a special land, sort of like what is it, like Westworld on HBO? You could have it something where you can immerse yourself into the Star Wars thing. Like you can pay extra, and you can get your Star Wars, you can get your Jedi robes, or maybe you can go as one of the mercenaries or one of the council. You can dress up and be a part of it.
Can you pay
Hang
extra
out.
so that you don't have to go and hang out with the dregs? Can you pay like I don't know, $50 extra for like the one every 300 feet people, like
You
bubble?
know, just to go back, they have those fast pass in Disneyland, and I have to admit, after driving with Carlos last night, having the extra parking pass that gets you ahead of the crowds and helps you get out of the place in a timely fashion. I'm starting to realize the older I get that I'd rather start to pay for the convenience and not having to deal with like being delayed or walking with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, because nobody has time
It,
for it.
it may be worth it. So
Maybe.
anyway, so that's you're on the fence on that one then.
I'm not on the fence. It's like something I want to do, but it's I hesitate only because of like the crowd control issues that might be happening there. So, like I said, I don't want to rush out and do it like right away. I want maybe the crowds to die down a little bit before I try it. So,
Hey, speaking of Dave Bautista, you brought his name up. I saw a couple things. Take them however you want to take them in whatever order. If you want to throw a comment out on there, I saw that he was considered for a couple Star Wars movies. That was a headline. And then I also saw that Guardians of the Galaxy, the third one, is actually on hold now. I don't know if that's old news or new
It's
news.
old news. It's not really. He says it's on hold indefinitely. They already said that they were not going to make the schedule because they fired the director. We knew this. So it's not going to be on its original release date of 2020. But with a movie that made, or a movie trilogy or series or whatever you want to say, franchise that's made $1.7 billion in two films, you can bet your ass there's going to be a third one. So it's not a question of if, it's only when. And the bigger question is Disney going to A, fire him before he ends up quitting, or is he going to quit before they end up firing him? That's really the big question here.
Dave, you better make that money. You better make that money, Dave.
Well, because he keeps making comments. He made the comment that I heard this weekend is that he doesn't know if he even really wants to work for Disney anymore. Okay. Well, I
Well, if
guess
you
you
don't want to
can go
work for
back
Disney,
to WWE.
you know something? They should pull up the video of Shia LaBeouf. That's what they need to do. Whenever somebody starts talking this shit, they need to just pull up Shia LaBeouf's video.
I mean, here's the thing. They all signed the letter. They all sympathize with James Gunn. They all want him back. It's not going to happen. They've made the choice to move on. So either take your blocks and go home, or suck it up and get your paycheck and do the fucking part that's probably going to be the most successful part you'll ever have in your career.
So what's the deal? Was he considered for a Star Wars role?
I don't
And
know. I
was it
didn't read that.
after the Guardians thing, or was it
I
before?
doubt it because no, I doubt it. But I mean, they're filming episode 9 now, so they would have had to consider him. The time frame doesn't seem to really make a lot of sense.
Does this make you want to work with Dave Bautista in the future, or is this just one of those things that it's just an emotional thing for him? He has a connection and his feelings are in his stead, or does this make him look like more of a, I don't know, you might be an irritant. I don't know if we want
It's
you in some
fine.
other places.
You're allowed to have your feelings. Maybe you want to keep them out of every fucking press headline that you can find. If you intend on working for the future of the company, or maybe he doesn't, like he said, he truly doesn't know if he really wants to work for Disney, which is also fine. But again, I don't know why you have to go to every major news outlet to spew it every time you get a chance.
Dave's very difficult. And other difficult news, I saw some article out there, Bill, that indicated that by 2022, that Netflix may be getting rid of their DVD subscription. Apparently, there's 3 million people that still receive DVDs, and I'm one of those 3 million. And that it pulled in about $53 million for them, but it apparently is not really something that they're really pushing. Like, that's not really their bag anymore.
Well, they're not going to do it unless everything they have available on DVD only becomes available day and date on streaming, which, if I'm not understanding, unless I'm misunderstanding, is not there yet.
Well, which is my whole point. This is very troubling to me because, I'm one of the few people that still get the DVDs. And it's not because I sit there and go, oh, what comes out? I don't know. Avengers Infinity War is coming out. I need to get the DVD. No, I understand I can go to a Redbox or something, but there's certain movies that are just not at Redbox. And if you go on Amazon to buy the movies, they're always trying to charge you like $7 or $8 for some of these obscure indie films. It's just ridiculous. How am I going to survive, Bill?
First of all, Netflix is going to not cut their subscriber base by $53 million without having some kind of plan in order to be able to facilitate people getting the movies in another format besides DVDs. So I guess their streaming is going to increase. I don't see them cutting the DVD service without increasing the range of their streaming base. That seems antithetical. But, I mean, then again, Netflix is also moving away from the whole movies deal to original programming. They've got they keep throwing more and more money at their original stuff and less money at movies in general anyway. So I don't know. Maybe you'll have to find another service.
Yeah, how are you going to get access to this stuff? I don't know. I'm not going to overpay to watch some of this. You're going to be looking at me going on my, what are you watching? I'm like, Bill, I'm watching a movie called American Animals. You're like, I never heard of it. And then you look it up and goes, it made like $1 million. I'm like, I know. And how much is it going to cost you to watch? It's going to cost me $9 to watch on Amazon Instant.
Maybe
It's ridiculous.
maybe there'll be a service that will be somewhere between Amazon Instant Price and Netflix's so dirt cheap we can't afford to keep it up price.
Well, yeah, it's hard because technically, even if well, it's going to force me to make some hard choices on what the movies I watch, what I want to watch.
Or maybe it'll make you make some choices about what service you subscribe to. Maybe you'll have to go to like Jay's online streaming foreign DVD service for $14.99 a month.
Hmm. Speaking of service, right there, when do you plan on signing up for the Disney streaming?
Disney streaming is not going to be available for a year. Do you mean DC streaming?
DC streaming, thank you.
Probably September 15th. I was thinking of not doing it until October 12th, which is when Titans premieres. But I might do it September 15th. Possibly. I don't know what's going to be available. I think it's $8 a month, something like that.
Oh, that's it? You shit $8. Come on.
Wow, really? It's not about the money. It's about what they're going to offer me at the time. I don't want to get a service and then just sit there and be like, well, there's really nothing that interests me on here until Titans comes out. So what am I doing with this?
Are they going to be doing some sort of like free trial period for people or no?
Yeah, I believe no. Not that I know about. If you subscribe for the whole year, you get extra 3 months for free. So you'll get 15 months for the price of 12, but the 12-month price is $75. So I probably will just go month to month because I don't know if I really am going to want it. Like if I don't like Titans and Doom Patrol, then why am I going to keep watching that? I mean, for their curated comics that I don't even read comics. So
I was about to say you get comic books with that, right?
yeah, well they're online comics, yeah.
Do they put the new ones on? Do you know, or is it just the old ones?
There's gonna be some new ones, some old ones. It's a curated list of 2,500 titles to start, and they're supposed to rotate the list like Netflix does with their movies every month.
You know, I hope you still have it by the time I come down for some sort of event because I'd love to see how that looks, or at least.
Well, I'm sure you'll be getting access to it before then, but that'll be December in any case, and I'm sure I'll have it before then.
Okay. Oh, I saw the reviews. The reviews were coming in for like a private screening of Aquaman. Did you see that?
I did not see a whole lot about it.
No. They did a test screening. I didn't click on the full article, but of course it said that things were positive.
Right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, as opposed to anything else. HBO is going to be killing off its adult entertainment slate. Shows such as Cat House, Real Sex, Taxi Cab Confessions, all this type of softcore content apparently is going the way of the dodo board.
Why?
Doesn't mean that they're getting rid of nudity because you still have Game of Thrones and The Deuce on there and some other shit like that. But they're just, I think the way the article portrayed it is that people can get a lot of their sex and porn from other places. So
but I don't know that it's the same thing.
It's
like real stories. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like there should be a market for adult entertainment that doesn't necessarily just include people bumping nasties. I mean, the whole idea of like Cat House, that was like a very informative show, to be honest with you, because it sort of made me think. Now, I'm not even going to say this on air, but it enlightened me to several different aspects of the professional escort industry that I was not aware of, and made me sort of change my opinion about what I thought of the whole thing. And it was like very educational. I don't know why that was not something that people wouldn't necessarily be interested in.
Well, I get what you're saying. I don't think they're saying that these shows are garbage and have no value, but I think they're just like, we need to move on. The slate's no longer part of our platform.
Okay.
I mean,
the whole idea was that for adult entertainment. You know what I mean? Like stuff that you couldn't just see everywhere.
Yeah, on a Friday night, do you pull up HBO and start watching Taxi Cab Confessions, followed by Real Sex, and then Cat House?
No, but
Is
I
that a
did watch Cat House. I watched several whatever episodes of it, and like I said, I thought it was a very interesting show. Now I
yeah?
don't know about the Taxi Cab Confessions, but
You know, this would have been great when I was younger. When I was always trying to like
I don't know
sneak.
why you have to watch. The show doesn't necessarily mean like it's like beat off material. It's just
What?
it's.
Yeah, I was in a.
I mean, it's just it's something that you will never see like on a major network or even a cable network because of the content. And that I thought the idea is HBO's content was supposed to be for people that couldn't see that type of shit anywhere else. I don't know. I thought it
I,
was distinguished enough.
what's funny when I was reading some of the comments on them getting rid of this slate of movies. One lady wrote something about like, well, it's very embarrassing because the parents share their passwords with their children, and nothing worse than looking in somebody's queue and finding out they were watching like Real Sex or Cat House. As you pull up, you open it up, and it's very true. Like with Netflix, when you share the password, it pulls up like things that people have watched on there.
But Netflix doesn't have Triple X Entertainment on there, do they?
No, oh no, no, but it has a lot of different movies, and I'm sure that if like I pull up or something else, like if you're watching, like if I don't know, I can see what you're watching, and it registers exactly everything you pull up.
Anybody that sees what
And
I'm watching is going to be bored to death. So, I mean,
I
uh,
know, but some people are private. I don't know if I start to click on like I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that would be perverted. I'm not really sure. Either way, I don't know if I like people looking at my Netflix queue viewing.
there's nothing on there that would really be
Oh, there's
considered
a ton
out
of
of the.
things on there.
Like
There's
what?
there's Nymphomaniac Part 1, Part 2.
What's
Um,
that? Well, obviously I know what a nymphomaniac is, but is it a series? Is it a movie? What is
yeah,
it?
I think it was by Lars von Trier,
Trier, Lars von Trier.
whatever his name is.
Okay. The dude, yeah, I know who. I know
Yeah,
you. The Dancer in the Dark. Okay.
yeah. What happens when I sit there and go like this? I shared my password with Catherine. All of a sudden, I go in there. I'm like, oh, what's this? Nymphomaniac. Apparently, they were
Well,
watching.
if the bitch wants to get picky about what you're watching on the free shit that she's sharing, perhaps she should buy her own Netflix
Oh no,
subscription
no.
and she can buy her own
I
password.
don't know if it's about that, but it's kind of like delving into people's personal life and what you're viewing. I don't know what you're viewing in your house.
I don't care if you do.
It's like
So
it's like
what?
looking at your Google searches and stuff. Then I don't want to know what you're googling. It might be a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't know that I look at anything that it might
Yeah,
not interest you, but I don't think
yeah.
it would
It's
be
because
something
you're
that
sitting
you.
there going like this. Is Superman's cape not bright enough? Let's look that
No.
up on Reddit. That's what you're looking up.
How many inches is Henry Cavill? And I'm not talking about his cape.
Oh, that's gross. That's so gross. This is why I have to hit
Okay.
the explicit button once again on our podcast.
Okay. I'm just saying. That's
Oh,
all I'm
you're
saying.
so gross. You're so gross.
Really.
Ah. Anyway, so we also got some other things dropping. Apparently, some movies are getting bumped. They're taking the bump. Looks like Terminator 6 is coming out November 15th, 2019. Going to be directed by our friend Tim Miller, produced by James Cameron. Are we excited about Terminator 6?
I don't know. I'll wait and
Terminator
see a trailer. I
go.
don't know. There's been so many like Terminator movies that have like gone by the trash heap that I kind of feel like it's not something I'm going to get excited about until they give me a good solid reason to why I should be
I
excited.
feel like I feel like the natural order of things are like trilogies. That seems like the natural order. One, two, three. That's like a full arc. And then
Well,
you need
Jay,
to like
everything
start over and
now.
do something. Now that you do one, two, and then you do two parts of three. that's maybe somewhat acceptable. But now you're at Terminator 6. Doesn't it just sound long in the tooth?
Not really.
What's
I
it?
mean,
Long
listen,
in the tooth,
everything,
Bill.
everything is intellectual property exploitation anymore, Jay. If it isn't something that's familiar to audiences, then it's not going to get made. So
Yeah,
the
what's going to happen?
reality,
Sit down and somebody goes over. Let's say your husband's parents come over, and you're like, "Hey, we just got a movie in. Oh, what are you guys gonna? Can we watch it? Yeah. What it's called? Terminator 8. Oh, Terminator. There's 8 Terminators. Yeah. This is the eighth one. Oh, it's a lot of history there, huh? I don't know if I really want to get involved in it. So many. It just
I
seems
mean,
so much. You got to
it's
reboot it.
fine.
You got to reboot it, baby.
Well, I don't. I mean, they have rebooted it like 3 times. Um, I, like I said, I will take a wait and see approach to it. I'm not particularly dying to see another Terminator movie, but maybe they'll give me a reason to why I should. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt. James Cameron is involved. If he's involved, then that certainly ups the ante for me. Um, I'll wait and see. I mean, I haven't watched Terminator 2 in several years. It's a great film, but it's not something I go back to,
Have you seen Terminator
constantly.
3?
I did see Terminator 3. I did not care for it.
Oh, it's
And
horrible.
I
4?
did not. No, I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I think that was with Christian Bale. 5?
Oh, I did see 4 then, and then I did not see 5.
Okay. That was the Genesis one, I think.
Yeah, I did not see Genesis. I saw Salvation. Is that what it was called?
Salvation. Yep. Christian Bale.
So I'm not necessarily. I did watch like a few episodes of Sarah Connor Chronicles, which also did not impress me.
Are they bringing
So
back Arnold for Terminator 6?
I believe so.
This is this is where I'm done, Bill. This is where I get. I mean, obviously James Cameron is back involved, but he was also the same James Cameron that gave the green light to like the Genesis movie or something else like this. Um, I don't know. I just it's time to move past it. Okay. Sometimes you got to hang it up here. We can't have Harrison Ford wearing the fedora swinging around. He's
Well,
going to
he's
bring.
going to be if he survives long enough to get this movie made. They're going to make an Indy 5. They're in. They're doing it.
It just looks bad. It looks geriatric. He needs to do one of those
He was
movies with like
geriatric when
Al
they did the third
Pacino
one.
and Morgan Freeman where they're hanging around in a coffee shop talking about old times. It's time to come up with something fresh now. I'm tired of seeing
They
Arnold Schwarzenegger back on the screen saying some tired ass lines. Okay.
Nostalgia is a seller. Sex used to sell. Now that that's available on every downloadable platform in the universe for free, then now people moved on to nostalgia. Nostalgia is really what's driving a lot of Hollywood productions anymore. I mean, they're about to redo Murphy Brown, and they already just rebooted Roseanne and Will and Grace. I mean, it's all about, again, intellectual properties that people have some connection to, that they have fond memories of, and this is what they're exploiting. That's just where we're at right now.
Exploiting is the good word. I'm just not a fan of it at some point. I mean, I was okay with Arnold back maybe once or twice, but now it's a dead horse.
I don't think you
But
can
it's
ever
James
say, as
Cameron.
long as James Cameron is involved in something, that it's a dead horse, because James
When are we
Cameron's
getting
involvement.
Avatar, Bill? When,
So
when, when are we getting Avatar, Bill? That's been around for what, a decade?
2021, 22, I don't know. I mean, the thing about it is, James Cameron's notorious for this too. It takes
Yeah.
him forever to make a project. So
Yeah. Okay. Well,
just
I'm not
like
gonna.
we did with
Uh,
Avatar, don't ever count James Cameron's involvement out as far as the possibility for success. That's all I'm saying.
okay. So Top Gun is being pushed out a year to June 2020, and A Quiet Place Part 2, A Quieter Place, is going to be coming in 2020. Um,
Are you watching Jack Ryan?
I think I tried to watch it the other day, and then I got distracted, so I haven't watched it. I think I may give it a shot, but it just looks really cornballish to me right now. And I watched Hunt for Red October over the past 4 days. Love Sean Connery in it and Alec Baldwin in it.
Right.
He was young and he just fit the role as Jack Ryan. I mean, he has the quintessential look at that time. And Krasinski, I don't know. He's almost too big for the role, to be quite
What do
honest
you
with
mean
you.
too
And not
big?
in terms of popularity, in terms of size. Um, it's like having Chris Hemsworth walk around and being like, "I'm just an analyst," when he's taller and bigger than everybody. Like I just don't know how to like handle myself physically. Like it just somehow it doesn't fit. I don't
Okay.
buy it. And I think they had him say the line like, "I'm just an analyst," and I just groaned when he said it. I just groaned because it just sounded so bad coming from him. I don't think he's a bad actor, but he didn't really sell me on that line. Like, I'm just an analyst.
So did you watch an episode or part of an episode or just the
No,
trailer?
I tried to pull it up, but it wouldn't pull up. So I just ended up watching the trailer of it again. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't have high hopes for it. In all honesty, I
Okay.
don't. I really don't. Are you gonna give it a shot? Is that something you're?
I've got the screen grabs of John Krasinski's new jacked up bod, so I'm good.
Okay, you're like some sort of perv. You like walk in and you're just like, oh, it's Bill from Popular Cinema Podcast. Oh, it's Bill. It's Bill. Is he going to review? He's here to watch. He's going to give us a thumb up on Jack Ryan, and you're just putting in your like USB port. You're like this. No, I'm just here to just download some photos from the set. I'm just going to put these here on my USB card, and I'm out. I'll see you guys later.
I mean,
That's just you're so pervy. It's so
I don't know
pervy.
why, I don't know why that's pervy. I mean, I like men. I like the fact that he's got all jacked, and so I think he's kind of handsome now. Okay.
You're like,
I
whatever.
mean,
Bob Ryan, Rex Ryan. I don't know what Ryan it is. I don't care. Is he nude?
and
Sounds great.
am I the perv or are the people who are making the show the perv when they put a lingering shower scene of John Krasinski's fully exposed rear end in the middle of my 60-inch high definition 4K TV? Now, if they're going to put it on there, I don't know why I'm not supposed to screen grab it. Okay? I don't feel like I'm doing something that John Krasinski is aware that there are cameras lingering on his ass. They're like all over the room. I'm sure there are lighting people, props guys, boom mics. He knows what's happening.
How does this even work in terms of discussion? I guess I'm not a part of this community here. Like, if I was filming a film, I don't know if I would sit there and go, okay, we've got to have a shower scene with Krasinski or Ben Affleck, and I'm going to pan the camera down so we can get an ass shot. Like, how does that come up? You talk over the actor like, I'm going to get an ass shot because you know what? Some people are going to like that, and that's going to give us some buzz. That just seems so weird to me. Is that does that push the movie forward? Does the ass shot
It,
push the movie forward?
it got my eyeballs on their show. So that's
So what you're doing is you once again you're trying to pull in all the people you can, and so the ass shot is for at least a good 10% of the perverts out of there, huh? Is that what
yeah,
it is? Okay.
sure. Whatever. Listen, Amazon wants my eyeballs because my eyeballs spend cash just like your eyeballs, and they don't really care exactly why my eyeballs are tuned in as long as they are tuned in. So they're going to give you a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and hope for everybody to be satisfied.
I can tell you what, in the Me Too environment, when I run my studio, we won't be doing anything like that. It'll be perv free. There won't be a lot of like there won't be unnecessary boob shots. There won't be extra ass shots. There won't be any of that. It won't be necessary unless it's part of the film.
Whatever, Father Payne. Okay, whatever. Pull the stick out of your ass. You like to look at pretty women's bodies just like I like to look at pretty dudes' bodies. So let's not act like it's not something that appeals to you on any level.
Furtherance of the story. It's
Oh,
about
please.
the art, Bill. It's about the art.
Yeah. The art of me enjoying the backside of John Krasinski's tight buttocks.
I mean, there's a lot of shows I'm watching currently. Better Call Saul. I think I'm about to give up on Castle Rock. I've got movies. I got that Upgrade movie. I
Oh
got
yeah,
that
I
on
heard
my
that's really good.
I think I'm going to watch that tonight. And what else? Hereditary comes out this week.
You're excited about that, right?
I am. I am. I'm not really sure how I'm going to play this one with Chris. I don't know if she'll want to watch it or something. I mean, she's watched Rosemary's Baby before and some other things like that.
I
Um,
heard this Hereditary movie is really, really scary. So you better like have somebody watch it with you because you might get a little frightened.
well, I'm only scared when if I'm going to be at home by myself. If somebody's going to be sleeping next to me or in the house, I'm okay
Oh, okay.
because I feel like I won't die alone at that point. You know, it's kind of if when you stay in a place, do you sleep? You know, like in a hotel or whatever. Do you sleep closest to the door, or does your partner sleep closest to the door, or do you even
I
think
sleep
about
where
where
my
somebody
head hits
sleeps?
the pillow. I don't know. I don't.
Because that's
I don't
something
really
to
worry
live by.
about
Like
that.
criminals break down the door, the first person they're going to get is the first person closest to the door.
I don't really think about the criminals breaking down my door in a hotel unless I'm in like Econo Lodge, and I really try to avoid those places.
Do you know Carlos lives in a neighborhood where they don't lock the doors?
Oh. Now that we've
I
announced
don't know
it
if he
to the
really
entire
wants. I don't
universe,
know if he really wants me putting his business out there. What?
yeah. Now that we've announced it to the universe, I don't know why he would do that. I don't. Crime is everywhere, so if they can get into the gated communities up in Dublin, or past the Upper Arlington anti-minority security
I think
buzzers.
the crimes that they have is like somebody might have left like a Amazon package on the wrong porch or something like that, and somebody
Yeah,
might
that
have thought it
happens
was
here.
stolen. Yeah, you know
But still,
that's the worst it gets.
but still, my husband locks this shit up like it's Fort Knox. So I mean, you just never know. Crime is everywhere. It's true. They've been
Listen,
walking in
I'm waiting
people's
for them
open
to get the
garages lately.
I'm waiting for them to get the retinal scan over at Lowe's because I'm sure that bitch is going to be right up on your door.
Oh,
I can
I
bet
can
you
tell
that
you
right
right
there.
now, it's probably not going to be far off. So, because what freaks me out is like every time the mail people come, like my husband before the mail is even before they even ring the doorbell, my husband's always like, "Mail's here." I'm like, "How would you know?" Oh, because we've got like spy cameras that we can see people coming down the block with the mail. Oh, okay. That's not creepy.
See, that's scary because that's the thing about it. That's exactly why you don't mess with people right there because somebody like your husband is sitting there like scanning, and all of a sudden somebody sneaking around. He's already gearing up for them. He sees them coming before they start coming.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan
Ah,
of
all right. What else we got going, Bill? That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
it. Really? We already talked about Batista. That's really kind of the only news thing that I've been reading
There,
about. It's been kind
there
of
has.
slow.
Have you heard of that horror remake called Suspiria?
I have because it's got what's her name from that porno trilogy that I like.
What are you talking about?
50 Shades.
Porn? What?
50 Shades of Grey. It's what's her name? Melanie Griffith's
Oh,
daughter.
oh, what is her name?
Dakota something or
Or Johnson?
yeah, that's her.
Um, I never saw the original horror movie Suspiria because obviously it's old as shit.
Right. Made
I've heard of
before
it.
birth, so why would you ever go to look at it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because when you came along, it was like the creation of the Infinity Stones. Like the galaxy became one. So why look past? Why look earlier than your birth?
Yeah. So all of a sudden, I saw the trailer for the remake, and it looks fascinating to me.
Even with Dakota Johnson, because she looks pretty bad in it. If I've seen the pictures, if I'm thinking
Yeah,
correctly.
I even know it was Dakota Johnson. To be quite honest with you, I don't think that changes anything for me. So it looks good, and it's on a hereditary level for me that I think it's going to be a really good horror movie. Did you get your husband Shutter?
I did, and you know what? I think he's watched precisely one thing on it. So he's got about 35 more days of my 2 month subscription, and after that, I'm cutting his ass off because I ain't
Are
paying
you
for this shit if he ain't
are you
watching it.
serious? He's a horror aficionado. Like
I know, but I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put. I hope this doesn't. I'm gonna try to say this not super offensively. My husband is somewhat technologically challenged when it comes to like changing the inputs of electronic devices to find different things to watch on different inputs. So I have a sneaking suspicion it's because he can't remember that I've showed him how to do this like 13 times.
Yeah.
And he might not just be down with like changing of the TV inputs a lot because he can't remember how to do it. So I kind of think that might be why. But in any case, I'm not spoon feeding his ass. It's time for you to catch up with the times, Grandpa.
That's such a shame because that's a problem with it. That's why with the Fire TV and the other technology, that's what I had to do with Chris. My concern was that she's going to sit there and be like, I don't know what's going on with this. I push this button here. I'm trying to get Judge Judy and I can't get it. Just forget it. I don't want it now. I don't want to watch it. I'll go do something else. I'll go paint my toenails. And you're like, no, 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 calm down. You just got to switch it to input 2 and then scroll over. And she's like, I'm out.
You know what irritates me about this is that, we're gay, okay? So obviously, we have a liberal allowance in my household in regards to adult oriented material.
Gotcha.
Okay. He can find all of the adult oriented material anywhere you want to put it on the internet. But he can't figure out how to change an input to get a different TV.
He's like a bloodhound. He's got his own torrent VPN. He's cruising around the internet.
Right. But when it comes to switching from input A to input B, he's lost in a maze of hedges. Okay. Well, I can't help you. I can only lead you so close to the water. I cannot make you drink it. So, like I said, I bought for 2 months. I'm pretty sure he's watched one thing on it. And if he doesn't increase his viewing habits, it's going out.
Oh.
Or he can pay for it himself, but I can tell you who's not paying for it to sit there on the TV box and just not be used.
Oh, that's such a shame. I mean,
well, maybe when you come down, you can coach him on how to, change the input to the TV because I've tried so many times. I've even actually typed out the directions on a piece of paper with like font size 36 so that, old people can read it from across the room. And he still refuses to do it. So, okay.
See, the problem in my household here is that once my woman learns how to operate all the equipment, instead of waiting for me to watch the program with her, I come on to the program and she was be like, "So, do you want to watch an episode of so and so and so and so?" I'll be like, "Sure, that's great. We can watch episode 2 together." Silence. I start to pull up episode 2, and then what I see is that the bar,
yeah, it's all the way to the end.
All the way to the end. So when you hit the play button, it starts rolling the credits on it, and you're just like, how did it get to the end? And all of a sudden, you get the whole like, I watched it a little bit earlier, but it's okay. I'm okay to watch the episode again. Oh, so you're gonna do me a solid and rewatch the episode with me. That's so nice of you that you watched it early. She's just like, yeah, just.
So once she got the hang of it, she's on her own and she's just free willy nilly watching everything available. When there's supposed to be certain shows that you guys watch together.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's no doubt. The technology gets figured out when you have a program that you need to get to.
Right.
And if it's a good program, you'll find a way to get there.
See, I there's a way, and a part of me kind of feels like okay with my husband not being down with like how to work the technology of the inputs on the TV, because that way it keeps him from doing shit like that. Where it's like when we sit down to watch Luke Cage, we're like, which episode do we forget, or were we on and we forgot? Because I know he hasn't watched it because he can't figure out how to fucking turn it on. So I know he's not like TV cheating because he doesn't know how to do it. So speaking of which, we watched episode
Barefoot and Pregnant. That's what we need them. Barefoot and Pregnant. Right. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know about the pregnant part, but Barefoot's fine. We watched episode 7 of Luke Cage on Friday night, and I don't think we watched it again tonight.
7 like 8 months ago, but go ahead.
It was the one where Shade's gay lover, he shoots him in the chest when he finds out he's the snitch.
Okay.
And the Jamaican sets what's her name? Mariah on fire in the house. and Luke comes and rescues her at the end.
See, this is okay. I have a comment, but go ahead. I'll let you finish your comment before
I don't know if we talked about this the last time. I hate the Jamaican. I hate them. Not
I don't know
the
why
people.
you be hating on me, man. I don't know why you be hating on me.
Stand the way they talk. I can't stand it. And I told you that my husband's always like, "What? What did he say?" I'm ready to turn the fucking subtitles on. I'm just ready to fucking put the fucking subtitles on. Because when it'd be like, I just can't. I can't, Jay. It's so irritating. The way they talk just really rubs me like fingernails on a chalkboard. Okay, not to mention, could they find an uglier motherfucker to play the part of fucking Bushmaster? Could they find somebody uglier? He fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way to the ground.
All right. The comment on that scene. See, I've seen the whole series, obviously, all the episodes of the season. But when I initially saw episode 7, when he tied her up to the chair to leave her to burn, it irritated the hell out of me, Bill.
Why?
Because it's the whole thing, once again, why don't you just kill the person? Spare me this nonsense of going, I'm going to set you on fire and walk away. You've killed 50 other people already throughout the show.
Well, it's not about that. He wants her to suffer for the fucking sins of her fucking grandfather or whatever, which is another idiotic, stupid storyline, which I don't understand. Why are we supposed to care that there's some kind of ancient family? This is the motivation for him coming to Harlem to take over the whole, like, neighborhood, is because it's like what happened. I mean,
her family did his family wrong.
Yeah, it's Iron Man 2, which happened 10 years ago, all over again. It wasn't great then, but at least it was only a movie. Now we have to sit through a 13-hour television series about some guy that has a grudge against her grandfather for the family's doing some. I mean, again, it's all about you're telling us what happened and not showing us what happened. That's the difference in good storytelling. You don't tell people this kind of stuff and expect them to give a shit. There's way too much history that happens off screen in some ancient rivalry between these families that is supposed to justify what we see going on screen now, and it doesn't because you don't see it and you don't care.
They're going to show it to you.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's better than
because exactly what you were saying, what was not going on, and then they do show you some of it. I can really still care less, but that's fine.
The other thing is, I just don't know. There's just a lot. I mean, I like the show. I like My Culture a lot. It's really the reason why I watch the show and continue to watch it, is because I think he's such a charismatic actor and a charismatic part. I like the wholesomeness. He is like the black fucking Superman. I like the whole golly gee willikers, I just want to do right by my neighborhood kind of attitude that he has. But the Jamaicans really bother me. I really have to be honest. I really just don't think he's a very good villain.
I think he was a great villain.
But here's the thing, Jay. Let me understand this correctly. Luke had to go through torturous chemical experimentation by some unknown agency being funded by some unknown entity in order to get these superpowers. And now Bushmaster just basically imbibes some like weed mixed with like fentanyl and some herb and some eye of newt and tongue of frog.
Garlic salt and a dash of Tabasco.
Turmeric. Okay. And he all of a sudden becomes bulletproof.
Yeah. Get some ginger root up in there for a little extra special. Yeah.
Really? I find it stretches the credibility beyond the, expanding my ability to understand it.
What do I find? They have to get the doppelganger villain because otherwise Luke is stronger than everybody. So they have to have somebody else that can go toe to toe with him physically.
It's fine. Get a doppelganger villain, but explain it better than the man just had like eye of newt and tongue of frog laying around and decided that he was going to become bulletproof. It's just stupid. It's just fucking stupid.
I find that you only get this critical when you don't like the character, and then all of a sudden you can start tearing it apart. But if it was a character that you did like, if it was Chris Hemsworth up in here, you'd be like, "This is great. I never saw that coming. They got some Eye of Newt. Oh, yeah, I get all of this. Sure." You wash it away, but since you don't like the character, you're just like, this is just dumb. It's just dumb. All of this is just dumb.
I mean, the logic just doesn't follow through, Jay, okay? It just doesn't. Are we to assume then that anybody on any street corner in any ghetto neighborhood can just go buy some like herbs and spices and mix it together properly and end up with like some kind of superpowers? I mean, that's basically the way they made it look on episode by the time I'm about. I don't know if they explain it better later on.
I think they maybe explain it better when they do some of the history of it. I think they try to make it that there's, it's like you genetically, or you got to be a special person in order to sort of survive this type of thing.
Okay. Well, up to episode 7, they have not explained.
Which is not explained. It's not explained. Absolutely. Right. Or is the episodes moving fast enough for you?
No, they never are. But it's better. It's better paced than season 1. I like Misty's storyline. I like her coming into her own and deciding to quit being a cop because it's just not for her. I like her. I like the chemistry she has with Luke. I miss Claire a lot. I like the show. I just think the storyline is just not all that fascinating. So I hope it gets better. I hope next season they have a fucking better ass villain because I really hate this fucking Bushmaster dude. But yeah, I mean, I'm in. I'm gonna continue watching it, but I just think I can tell you exactly why I'm watching it, and it really has nothing to do with like how fascinating the story is. It's really more to do with like the actor and the part and the character.
So, what are you guys watching tonight?
I think we're gonna watch Gotham. We still have like 3 episodes from last season, but it doesn't come back for like another year. So I'm trying to pace ourselves because we run out of Gotham. Then we're only gonna have like 2 or 3 more shows we watch, and probably Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is there a lot of fall TV shows dropping for you?
You're not gonna believe this. Are you there?
Yeah.
You're cutting out.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I told you we should have ended it earlier.
Really? It's only 3:15. Why don't you just log off? We'll log back on, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. All right.